Hello and welcome to the future of James Bond. Tonight, the hardware 007 would kill to get his hands on. And I don't mean just old props like this. We're going to be testing the real thing.
And we've got our own mission to accomplish in this James Bond special, to get inside and show you the most secret room in Britain. Along the way, the ultimate in Bond-style flying machines, a real backpack helicopter.
Plus, the latest in high-tech camouflage. Can it help Jez Nelson disappear?
And shaken or stirred, we glimpse the future of the perfect martini. So it's full speed ahead to help Agent Snow with our mission to find the nerve centre of Britain's defences. The fictional HQ gets blown up in the new Bond film The World Is Not Enough, which opens next week. In it, 007 chases the bomber down this stretch of Thames at high speed in a fantastic speedboat. Now, it's always the same. We always know what to expect from Bond. He always gets the meanest machines. But even he hasn't got his hands on a backpack helicopter. In an ideal world, there are certain things no Bond girl should be without. An open-top car, the freedom to drive in exotic locations, a handsome man by her side. Well, perhaps not. But now, at a top-secret facility hidden away in the Japanese highlands, they're developing that quintessential special something. That piece of indispensable high-tech kit that will really get you noticed, when all the fancy gadget-packed cars in the world are not enough. Well, all right, it's a small engineering company and it's not really hidden. More difficult to find. But they are building something here. Seems too good to be true. The world's first personal helicopter. It's the one piece of kit that James Bond would love to get his hands on, but we've beaten him to it. With 4 special lightweight engines, it can cruise at speeds of 100 kilometers per hour for 30 minutes on a full tank of petrol. And with an ability to reach an altitude of 3,000 meters, it should allow you to drop in on the hideaway mountain base of the most nefarious supervillain. Now, there have been numerous attempts to build a personal flying machine of one sort or another. But a quick look around the skies indicates that most haven't amounted to very much. Let's face it, what you want from a personal flying machine is to be able to fly quickly and simply from A to B. And you want B to be more than 20 seconds flight away, which is about all the version used in Thunderball could ever manage. The helicopter's never been the simple travel option, even if you are Mr. Bond. They're massively complex pieces of machinery, but what they've done here is stripped down and simplified the concept, and they've come up with this, an ultralight one-man or one-woman helicopter. The secret is the way the rotors work. First there are 2, and they're counter-rotating. They spin in opposite directions. That makes them really stable and means you can do away with the long stalk with a tail rotor to stop the thing spinning out of control. Most importantly, and unlike any other helicopter, the rotors are fixed. Now, in a normal helicopter, the rotors move separately to enable movement forwards and upwards, but here, the rotors and the engine all tilt together to achieve the same effect. Now, the clever thing about this design is that it's cheaper and much more simple. Simplifying the mechanics has another major benefit. It's much easier to fly than your ordinary chopper. It's done away with all the dials, knobs and switches that infest the cockpit of a normal helicopter. The flight controls are simplicity itself. By tilting the whole rotor head above you with this control bar here, you can make the helicopter go in any direction you like. So if you want to go forwards, you pull back. If you want to go backwards, you push forwards. A switch on the left thumb changes the relative speed of the two rotors and allows the helicopter to turn to the left or to the right. A throttle lever controls the altitude. The faster the rotors spin, the higher you climb. Now, the pilot of this remarkable flying machine is John Plummer. John, what's it like to fly?
It's like sitting at the kitchen table, riding my bicycle and floating at the same time. You just sit there and kind of push it where I want to go, and away I go. I get up in the air and I just feel this exhilaration. I want to fly anywhere, but I still don't have quite the guts to do it. The only thing that holds me back is I'm a little scared of heights, but...
This is the 4th generation prototype, and it's about to go into production. The man behind the strap-on helicopter, the would-be Q, is Gen Yanagasawa, who designed cars through the 50s and 60s before he turned his hand to flying machines. His first was made 12 years ago, and they've all been designed and built from scratch, from the rotors to the 4 ultralight engines themselves. At present, the helicopter can carry a weight of 84 kilograms, but the company are considering an upgrade that would lift a pilot of 100 kilograms specifically for the American market. They're planning to sell them as DIY kits, which they reckon can be assembled and ready to fly in 30 hours and will cost around £20,000, so that shouldn't break M's budget. Now, they reckon it only takes 3 hours to learn to fly this thing. And because it's an ultralight, you don't have to have a pilot's license to fly it, so anyone can. But I can't help thinking that although it may give you a license to thrill, it'll probably leave you a little bit shaken, if not stirred.
Before I crack on with our mission to reveal that secret room, I've got a rendezvous with a man who claims he has the ultimate spy kit for the real 007. No real spy is complete without bugging devices and hidden cameras. In the shadowy world of surveillance, every spy must have undetectable eyes and ears. 007 is often kitted out by Q with bizarre kinds of hidden microphones and cameras, but reality is just as intriguing. Michael Marks, the man I'm meeting, supplies some very high-tech gear.
Hello, Peter.
Michael, how did you know I was here?
I've been filming you through this camera here.
Good gracious me, what, the camera inside that?
Yes, there's actually two cameras inside this. There's one here and one here. There's a mercury switch in there that detects whether the camera is vertical or horizontal and switches between the two cameras.
Well, now, this is fine, but it's a bit cumbersome carrying a camera around in a briefcase. Anything a bit neater than that for me?
Yes. Can I offer you a cigarette?
No, thanks, I don't smoke.
That's fortunate because this isn't really a packet of cigarettes. This is actually a colour television camera. This technology has been made possible because of miniaturisation. And also, the cameras will work down to very, very low light levels, which is important if you're working undercover, of course.
In this tiny box, there's a digital camera and transmitter, which means the pictures it sends are clearer, a big improvement on 5 years ago. And this is the camera just here, this very small little black...
That's right, that's it, and that little hole in the centre of it is 2 millimetres in diameter, and that's all it needs to look through.
Well, it's quite neat, Michael. What do you do for an encore?
If you'd like to take this and follow me...
Maybe I can help you.
Hello, Peter. I've got a camera in my walkie-talkie, and I'm just going to take a picture of myself and send it to you.
OK. These nifty walkie-talkies transmit pictures to each other via high-bandwidth signals. Ah, something's happening. Very slowly, scrolling down my little screen, is a picture of Michael. You're not such a bad-looking fellow after all. Useful when you're out spying and need to transmit instant pictures back to base.
Before you go, one last thing. This red light that's flashing on here tells me the bug that I planted on you earlier is still working.
The bug? Where's it?
Yes, in your pocket here.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
That's been transmitting everything you've said.
Well, you can keep that and you can put that away too. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, we all know the routine. A dry martini, shaken, not stirred. And I know I'm meant to be helping Peter find Britain's most closely guarded room, but I can't help thinking I've got just a little bit of time to investigate Bond's favourite cocktail. Legend has it, in Ian Fleming's original books, Bond's martini was stirred, not shaken. Because after a hard day thwarting evil, Bond might be stirred, yes, but shaken, never. The film studio thought it sounded better the other way around. So Bond's cocktail is shaken, not stirred. But which is better? Now here's a man who knows a bit about the perfect martini. Dr. David Clutton has spent his working life studying gin. So if anyone should know about martinis, then it should be you.
Well, I guess that's right, yes. The origins of the martini are somewhat debatable. Vodka martinis became pretty fashionable, but the true connoisseur of a martini always uses one spirit, and that's London dry gin. The other ingredients are vermouth and ice, lots of cold. So regardless of what recipe you use, there are 3 scientific secrets which you need to make the perfect martini. If your liquids are too warm, the ice cubes will melt far too quickly and your drink will become very watery. So it's fundamental to keep your gin in the freezer, your vermouth in the fridge, and your cocktail shaker as cold as possible. Well, dry in this context actually doesn't mean not wet, it means low in sugar, low in sweetness.
So can we measure dryness?
You can measure dryness essentially using techniques like gas chromatography and electronic nose technology and things like that. But at the end of the day, you know, there's only one way to check the dryness, and that's
you were going to say that.
in the usual sort of way.
Yes.
So cheers.
Cheers to you. Does it make any difference at all?
Well, I think it probably does, you know, because if you think about it, if you stir something like that, all you do is create a vortex in the middle of the liquid. But if you put your ice with your liquids in a shaker and shake it vigorously, you get much more effective heat transfer.
Right.
So the liquid becomes much cooler.
Well, Dr. Clutton may say that scientifically shaken, not stirred is best, but not everyone agrees. Take Cynthia, for example, the world's first barmaid robot. She's programmed with 75 different cocktails, including a martini. But it's stirred, not shaken. So which tastes better? Well, there's only one way to find out. We'll have to taste them. In the spirit of scientific investigation, I asked Cynthia to stir me a martini while our expert barman Phil Yates shakes me one. Not bad, Synth. I must be a complete Philistine. Can't tell the difference. Oh, you found it? Oh, great. Okay, I'm on my way there.
Well, here we are in Whitehall, Britain's centre of government.
Now, we can't give you the exact location of our destination for security reasons, but we are headed far below ground.
But before we get there, the suit that could make you undetectable.
And a sneak preview of some of the fantastic gadgets in the new Bond film.
Of course, security here is incredibly tight. They don't let you in here unless they want to.
But science, it seems, can make almost anything possible. Jez Nelson tries on the new stealth suit that could mean a real-life spy could slip unseen into the enemy base.
result. You know the plot. James Bond has managed to smooth talk himself into a fancy party being thrown by a master criminal, a multi-zillionaire with a distinctly dodgy sideline in world government extortion. At the party, there's a casino where he delivers a couple of double entendres to a gorgeous brunette and then cleans up at roulette. But of course, 007 goes nowhere for pleasure alone. He inevitably has business to attend to. Business which requires him to slip out unseen, create some chaos, and then return nonchalantly to the party to continue his game. Well, the average global extortionist doesn't make it easy for your James Bond types to sneak about. Not only are there polo neck-wearing guards to avoid, but all manner of fancy cameras and surveillance equipment to hide from. Traditional camouflage clobber is all very well for hiding in shrubbery, but for a sophisticated spy, it's rather ungainly. And anyway, when it comes to hiding from a thermal camera which detects heat rather than light, you might as well not bother. People trying to avoid detection have a fundamental problem. They're alive. We churn out around 120 watts of power, and most of that is heat. So even though you think you might be doing a good job hiding, a quick look through a thermal camera, and you might as well have a light bulb strapped to your head. So even in pitch blackness to a thermal camera, I stand out like a sore thumb. Not exactly the image a slick covert operative would hope for. What a real spy needs is something to foil heat-sensing cameras. Well, here I have something that should stand James Bond in good stead when he's sneaking around the garden of a stately home. It's a stealth suit, and slipping into one of these should make the wearer much less visible. There's even a stealth helmet. And this visor may look clear, but even this is treated. Avoiding Mr. Big's guards is much easier with the suit, especially if they're not too clever, just like in the films. The key is losing your heat signature by stopping body heat reaching the thermal camera, which means insulating me from it. Now, any normal thermal insulation is only so good. It slows down the release of heat, but it doesn't actually stop it. But this new suit is made from a special insulating material of metal-coated plastic. The heat not only gets trapped between the layers, but it's actually reflected back in towards the body. So while our hapless pursuer glows in the dark, the suit reflects my body heat back. Now my thermal signature, to all intents and purposes, matches that of the background, making me disappear. Well, certainly less visible anyway. So ghosting into the top secret control centre, all that remains is to create that all-important spot of chaos, in the best traditions of all Bond films. The manufacturers hope that suits like these will allow soldiers to slip unseen behind enemy lines, and that this material won't only be used to make people disappear, but also vehicles and maybe even whole buildings.
Many floors underground, and we're still going. The bunker we're headed for only really comes to life in times of national emergency.
Just like in every Bond movie. So we thought it'd be fun to send out Lindsay Fallow and ask her to see what they've dreamt up for the new movie.
You can rely on the Bond filmmakers to deliver the goods on at least 2 fronts for the new film. Massive and impressive sets, like Bond's fictional HQ, where M briefs Bond on the villain Reynard, courtesy of some stunning graphics. And of course, the gadgets and kit. Chris, you're the guy who's lucky enough to get to dream up those gadgets. Where on earth do you get your ideas from?
They come from a variety of sources, really. The writers can come up with ideas, the director, we come up with ideas, the art department come up with ideas. Sometimes the ideas come from inventors who come to us with possibilities that might be of use in the film. There's no one set format for it.
In the film, you've got some fairly amazing machines, you know, the cars, the boats, all that kind of stuff. Have you got any personal favourites?
I've got 2 favourites. My first favourite is the helicopter with these giant saw blades underneath. I think they're wicked. They've done some wonderful things in cut through buildings and walkways and pipes, and there's not much it didn't cut through in the end, and that was a lot of fun to do. It took a long time to shoot. It was very tricky to do, but that was one of my favourites. The other favourite was the boat chase with a classic Q boat. We've got a Q boat as well as a Q car in this one, and Bond jumps into this, hurtles up the River Thames past the Houses of Parliament and all round the docklands with its array of armaments and rockets and missiles and torpedoes and the other top secret gadgets that it's got.
What are these?
Try them on.
Try them on, okay. Oh, everything looks a bit blue. Nothing spectacular happening. Does something spectacular happen when Bond puts them on?
Yeah, when Bond puts them on, Bond will have the ability to look through people's clothing and see if they've got any hidden armaments or weapons, anything that might do him some potential damage.
So they're your archetypal X-ray specs?
Absolutely.
Vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred.
So you've had your idea, you've sold it to the director, it's in the script. Now how do you make that gadget real?
It differs with each individual gadget. You know, some gadgets you have to have many versions of it to achieve one particular sequence. For example, the Bond watch. Here you have a watch with its light source that Bond uses in a dark situation. This watch here is the first process showing Bond actually arming the watch. Turn the bezel, out it comes.
And what about this one?
This watch is mainly used for, it has a bezel that spins round, and effectively what that's doing, it's unspooling the wire that is attached to the piton that is fired from it.
No Bond film would be complete without his amazing car. Can you tell me a bit about the one in the new film?
He has a Z8 sports car, which is an incredible machine. I must say, it far outpaces the last two cars he's had in his last two films. It's got his usual array of armaments, rockets and other various articles. And out of all the last three cars, this is my favourite.
Nearly there. We're deep beneath the streets of London, below even the deepest of the underground lines.
But before we go any further, one last look at the real world of tomorrow's special agents. Our new Seagram is finding out how robots will help the spies of the future.
The underworld of espionage and surveillance is an arms race where each side struggles to outsmart the other. For spies like Bond, clever gadgets always make the difference. Tucked away in a corner of Boston, scientists are developing a new tool to get spies wired to the enemy's actions. Helen Greener is the mastermind behind a new surveillance device that may help real spies get sound and pictures back from inside enemy territory. Bring on the robots, the new players in the spying game.
Urban Robot is the king of these robots. It's the most robust and the most versatile.
The Urban Robot's the toughest robot around. It can be thrown through windows, it can crawl upstairs, take a tumble down them. We've even tossed it out of 1-2-story buildings, and it can withstand the fall.
I want to see for myself if it can sneak into places even secret agents would find hard to crack. Protected by a tough polycarbonate shell, its batteries drive 3 small but powerful motors guided by radio control. Agility is essential. This robot tackles all kinds of terrains thanks to its articulated tank-like tracks. 2 pivoting arms provide the leverage for the robot to go up surfaces as well as along. It can negotiate small spaces and steep inclines and steps. That's all very well, but surveillance demands some really smart kit on board. Infrared sensors and sonar tell the robot when it's about to crash. Inclinometers let the robot know how steep a slope it's powering up. And a compass helps it out when it gets in a spin. For the intelligence-gathering role, a microphone acts as the robot's ears and transmits sounds back to base. And crucially, an onboard camera that gives you Urban's eye view. Because it's rugged, highly mobile and has a camera to guide it, it's ideal to send into situations of unknown danger, like a hostage rescue.
James Bond always uses technology to his advantage. So imagine he needed to go through a tunnel or have something go to something that's behind a fence or have the robot sneak through a duct and get images from inside a building.
Imagine someone's being held prisoner in here. You don't know what you're up against. Send in Urban Robot.
I've hidden myself in this closet. Helen and the robot are outside. All they know is that I'm in a second-floor flat with a green door.
Guided only by the TV signals from Urban's camera, Helen directs the robot remotely. It uses all its abilities to slip into an unfamiliar building and report back on what's happening. The first challenge, a difficult set of steps. It's got to the top, where it faces a maze of identical corridors. Next challenge, to find the green door. And there's the right door.
Sounds like it's just come through the door.
Finally, it's into the flat. Mission accomplished, and pretty quickly too. My hero, the spy who found me. The US military are now testing Urban Robot and putting artificial intelligence on board. So soon it'll be able to navigate autonomously and make its own decisions on the fly.
I don't think James Bond should feel threatened by it. This is one of the really cool gadgets that he could use in the future.